Did you listen to music because you were miserable, or were you miserable because you listened to the music? At one point in my life, it didn't really matter which one came first, because for all I knew, I was depressed. And when you're depressed, you tend to not think about anything else other than depression and maybe anxiety from time to time if it sparks up. But at this time, I stumbled across this music subgenre titled Doomer Wave. And if you don't know what a doomer is or what doomer wave sounds like, you're in for a treat, because it made me fall deeper into my depression. So I think I can explain what it is better by showing you than by telling you.
My days usually consisted of me never getting much sleep, always waking up before the alarm because I wanted no surprises. And one thing that won't be surprising is being stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic when you're on your way to work. Work was no safe haven either. It felt like you were in a rat race while simultaneously killing yourself the longer you stay there. And one shift later and a couple hits from a self-prescribed medical plant, and in hindsight definitely wasn't helping my mental state, it felt like I came out worse than I came in. And what made it worse was that I missed my one chance at sunlight, which I was always raised to believe was a natural antidepressant, good old vitamin D. And because of that, I was left feeling like something or someone was missing. I guess now I know what Pink Floyd meant when they said on their famous song Time, kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown, waiting for something or someone to show you the way. But as I finally made it back into my self-inflicting holding cell, that's when music took advantage of my highly vulnerable state, and I fell deeper into my depression.
Now that you have an idea what a doomer is, it's time to explain what doomer wave is. In its most simplest definition, doomer wave is a style of remixing songs to sound more depressing, especially if the subject matter is depressing or it has an eerie melancholy and an overall pessimistic atmosphere. A prime example of some songs that are very popular that have been turned into doomer wave versions are Creep by Radiohead, Apocalypse by Cigarettes After Sex, Somebody That I Used to Know by Guilty, and probably the most famous one of them all, and it's already doomer wave-esque, is There's a Light That Will Never Go Out by the Smiths. And for some reason, there's a lot of songs that are by Russian bands that speak totally Russian that have been made into doomer waves, and kind of makes me wonder what's going on in Russia for people to want to make doomer wave versions of songs. Now you're probably wondering, how can you make these songs sound more depressing than they already are? They're already having subject matters about the harsh realities of life, being depressed and alone, and sometimes even war and apocalyptic ideas that haven't even happened yet. Well, in my opinion, it's kind of the same way you can tell by someone being depressed by the way they talk. They slow down the vocals, they lower the tempo and the octaves, and it gives it that slow and dark feeling as if this person has lost the will to live, let alone put any effort into their tone of voice. That's not where it ends. Sometimes they even add heavy amounts of reverb and compression to give it the effect that it's all in the chambers of your head, and to make you even feel like that your loneliness and depression are 10 times worse because you were dealing it by yourself, alone, and only you can get yourself out of it. Sometimes they add sound effects like rain or vinyl cracking to give it that nostalgic sound, almost as if it's confirmation to them that this is something that many generations have experienced and that it's not going to end with them, only making the cycle continue. I understand throwing the word depression around might be a little bit of exaggeration, especially when I'm using it to describe a sort of music, but Doomer Wave will have you empathize with that feeling of depression like no other form of art has before. Giving you a small glimpse into that world is enough for anybody to spiral into depression. That's what's happened to me. Just imagine you've been listening to a song for years and you thought some surface level bullshit like, wow, the lyrics are so hitting to me. This is so mainstream. I really resonate with these mainstream formulaic artists. Well, Doomer Wave has a nice way of switching on that. For example, a very popular mainstream song that I can consider Doomer Wave is Hey Ya by Outkast. If you look at the second verse of the song, I'll sing it for you guys horribly, but forgive me in the comments. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why are we so in denial when we know we're not happy here? That's just one part of the verse that is so Doomer-like. And at the very end of the verse, he even says, y'all don't want to hear me, you just want to dance. If that's not calling out the sheep mentality that a lot of Doomer people don't want to accept, I don't know what is. Some might just say it's confirmation bias and that there is no facts to back up these supposed realities that these artists are explaining or these doomers are trying to depict. Well, I would ask you to ask yourself, are they wrong? Are there not dark truths and hard pills to swallow these realities? Do we not live in a society where most people are fearful and doubtful and just feel like they're inadequate to even survive? Even these dogs that are barking right now in this mix have this sense of doomer in them that deep down they try to run from. And it's music like this, and it's waves and trends and mixes like this that really show you what art is capable of.
I'm not going to sit here and give some encouraging words to doomers to stop them from what they feel like they need to do. I just hate it when people give this dishonest care for people when it's obvious that they don't. They're just lying.
Doomers have a hard life. That's easy to see. And for some reason, music seems to be the only company that they're willing to let them join them in their journey. After listening to this music, you'll never sit there and say, I hope I get a happy ending. You better just be grateful that you do get one, that you're not a doomer.